Hi, good morning. Today, on the 29th of March 2023, I would like to do a video taking on my experience in the recently conducted TPC. I have attended TPC on the 8th of March 2023. So let me begin. Hi, welcome to my channel. I am Thomasin PA2066. Today is 29th of March 2023. This is video taking 147 TPC, my experience, what to expect. I attended the TPC on the 8th of March 2023, so I hope this video taking would be providing some insight to your upcoming TPC if you are attending your TPC for estate agency practice. Let me begin. Before I begin the recording for the proper presentation on my experience in taking the TPC, I would like to bring to you two other TPC related video that I have completed before. So you can go to My Real Property online, this particular website, and then check on the search here, TPC. You just type TPC, then you would actually search for the two presentation recording that I have done earlier on. So this is the My TPC presentation part 1 and then My TPC presentation part 2. So go to these two video recordings on the TPC, mainly to do about task 1 and task 2. So this part on how to prepare for your task 1 and how to prepare for your task 2. So the current experience sharing on the part of the TPC, I do the recording now. So the background of the TPC for estate agency EA is actually a part of the final process of a examination to obtain your registration as a registered estate agent. So this you probably from a degree route, or you came from the diploma route, as I came from the board diploma. You could also obtain your certificate in estate agency by InSpan, and all to fulfill the training of diary work, diary register, and then later on attend the Test of Professional Competence of the TPC to obtain your authority to practice, to operate a firm of estate agency practice. So this is the final process. TPC is an interview by the board to eventually grant you the they call it e-license. So for EA is e-license, for the TPC for valuer would be the valuer license, which usually will come also with the estate agency and the property manager's license. So you can also do property management, and you attend the Test of Professional Competence for property managers. So right, I am estate agency practice, so I do a TPC for estate agency. So let me just dive in a bit of the processes, the earlier information about completing the exam, the written exam, and also the diary work, as well as now the final interview. So I did it on the 8th of March 2023 and at the 19th floor of the Menara UOA, which is the board address, board of valuer, appraisers, estate agents, and property managers. So this is how it looks like. So I would recommend, if you are outstation, you would want to choose a place to stay overnight before the day that you embark your journey to the office of BOVIP. So you take the Kelana Jaya line LRT from ideally, if you are putting up a hotel around town, then you take the Kelana Jaya line LRT towards the Putra Heights line, and you get off at Bangsa LRT station. So this picture you can see Bangsa LRT station, and the Menara UOA is the building here. So you take a lift up the 19th floor. I stayed around KL Central area. There are some budget hotels around KL Central, probably getting around 100 and 120 ringgit per night. So you stay there. For the morning, you just need to go to KL Central LRT station, take the Kelana Jaya line platform 2, to take a one station away, just disembark at Bangsa LRT station, walking distance to the UOA, Menara UOA, less than 10 minutes. You take the lift up. You have to give your registration at the ground floor registration desk. They need to assign you a name tag. Then you use the name tag to go through the security to go to the lift lobby area to take to 19th floor. Take to 19th floor, go to the board office, tell them that you are here for the interview. They will guide you to the room for the interview. So I started the waiting around 8:40. Around 8:40 morning. I arrived about half an hour before the 9 o'clock morning. As you can see on the left hand side, waited until 9:31. Roughly that was due to reason that the examiner got caught up in the traffic jam. So I was ushered in by the chairman or chair lady of the TPC examination into the room, which is on the side. So there is a room on the major conference room, which was used by the valuer TPC. So the TPC for valuation. So this similar concurrent time, there is another session for the estate agency at the back of the conference room, a smaller room. So went in 9:31 and came out around 12:31 in the process of 3 hours TPC. So this is the entrance to the washroom at the back. The photographs of the president of the board over the years. Then the conference room is on this side, which is the concurrent session by the TPC group for the valuation. And then there is the other room at the back, which is for the EA, for estate agency TPC. So entering into the room, in a smaller room, you actually seated, you will be seated facing the 3 examiner. So they will be facing the chair lady or the chairman, and then flanking by the 2 other examiner. So 2 other examiner for TPC for estate agency would be the estate agency practitioner. So the examiner for estate agency practitioner, there are 2. One is the examiner who is usually a surveyor who has practiced of estate agency in private practice, and another examiner who is a fully specialized private practitioner for estate agency setting. So this could be an examiner for him. It is the major practice as an estate agent. This one is on the side as a private practice, but can be a valuer who is into estate agency practice as a group practice, including valuation and property management. Then the chairman, the chair lady, usually is a person from the government side who is a surveyor, who is senior in either academic or in the government statutory bodies. So you will be seated facing the 3 examiner. All right, then we start off in the 4 parts of the TPC. The usual TPC for estate agency will usually take up the 4 major parts. So the 4 major parts are, first, the probably go into work experience, your diary, which you already pass up from the Either you are from the degree route, you pass up within the year, that means 6 months diary work pass up, and then the second diary work for the subsequent 6 months. Or if you are under the diploma or the certificate route, then you do a 2-year diary. So this would be 1 year first diary pass up, and then the second year diary pass up. So this part they may not go in as it is already been marked, and the work experience most of the time is a short interview. After that, they will straight away go into task 1, which is agency processes, which you have submitted, work on the recording of the agency processes. So this task 1 would take some time. Task 2, which is project marketing, will also take some time. After then, they move to the question and answer. So these question answers do have the 4 subparts. So 4 subparts later on I will go in. So the general thing is that the 4 subparts will include the estate agency principle and technique, the rules, the act, mainly the law, as well as the taxes, the property taxes laws, and the standards, MEAS, the circulars, which are the one that is announced by the board, and the last part is the topical matters, anything general. I will go into these 4 parts in subsequent slides, and just to highlight to you that these 4 subparts under the number 4 actually is the one that most of you or who are the candidate for the TPC are worried about. But then my own experience is actually the task 2, which is giving us most issues. Most people cannot pass the TPC in one sitting because of task 2. Let me continue. So the diary work, what to watch out for? Usually diary work is quite straightforward. Record the activities, your listing, your meeting in a company, or your viewing with the prospect, engage with the clients, record down how things are done. Normally the few things that you need to really take into real register, that means to register those are the things, what are the dates and the signing of the letter of engagement, letter of offer and acceptance, sales and purchase agreement, if any, and also the tenancy agreement, the time that is done, and really the date, the register of the diary work must include when you receive booking, the time when you receive booking, what sort of payment is made online or is it by check. All these are important milestones in your practice of estate agency. Right, work experience is right up not less than 600 words. So it's depending on your experience, also what to include. Here I put down, follow the format that is in the book, the guideline. And this means that it need to register type of work undertaken, sub-sale, tenancy or project sale, your geographical area of activity, types of property, which probationary estate agent, the level of responsibility would be to ensure all the duties been carried out, follow through, and at the end your completion. And if you have other experiences, please include in. So I have included in my experiences in like website building, experiences of me doing all this online education. So these are things that usually won't go through in detail during the TPC. So diary work and work experience, they will normally just go through in brief or even skip. There are some even skip the TPC on this part of diary work and work experience. Okay, go straight to task 1 and task 2 and the oral question and answer. So let's go to task 1. So what are the pitfalls in task 1? I want to put down here. Most of the time, the examiner would want to ensure that you have actually registered the correct information in the task 1, because task 1 is about subsell. So you need to register information that is important, like when the agency engagement is being secured. That means you have really taken the job. You have really taken the job from the principal, or in this case your vendor. So how long is the engagement period? If it is 1 year, then from what date to which date? Verification of the subject property. So you need to make sure that you've gone through the checking with the land office, or checking with the local council, with the proof that the property ownership, the ownership of the property, how many people actually owns the property. If you have 3-4% or 3 to 4% owning the property, then your engagement of the job to do the selling must also get the agreed parties, the agreed co-proprietors. They must all sign the letter of engagement or appointment. Of course, they all must sign also the letter of offer and acceptance. So this is important. Plus also in the letter of engagement, it should be stated what types of engagement it is, and at the end, when completing the letter of offer and acceptance, it should be also signed by your principal, the agency principal. So all that signatures and date of signing must be clear and easily retrieved for the answering of the question during the task 1 interview. So who pays for the fee, stamp duty? Usually in the subsale, these are questions that will be asked during the task 1. So that means that when the sales and purchase agreement is signed, and then proceed to payment of stamp duty, the JPPH value came out, then the stamp duty paid by who. So all these things must be recorded down also in the task 1 presentation. So is it a vacant possession, or is it possession with the tenant? Let's say in the case where there is a tenancy, whether the handover of the properties sold to the purchaser, is it with tenant or without tenant? So what are the inventories? So is there any inventories? So all these are important to register in the task 1, recording down all the important milestones. So task 1 is quite straightforward, and for the task 1, I also want to highlight these are some of the questions that may come out in the interview. When they go through your task 1, they might want to ask, how do you get the listing? Did you solicit? So if you actually go and say that you solicited for the listing, then it is wrong. In that our job as an estate agent, we should not solicit for an instruction. So how do we get the listing? They usually will come out with this type of question. So what is the engagement type? Is it exclusive engagement, or is it sole engagement? What are the way that you try and secure your listing, and what type of engagement is also an important part of the interview for task 1, why it actually ended up with such an exclusive engagement. So did you negotiate for your fee? Did you actually come down to 2% or come down to 2.5% instead of the 3%? Why is that so? Why did you come down on the fee? So these are things that may be asked during the task 1 interview. So what is the engagement terms as in the MEAS 5? What are the details after they have read through your task 1? They may want to see, did you actually use the forms in the MEAS for your engagement letter of engagement, as well as the letter of offer and acceptance, or agreement to purchase. So this agreement to purchase, there is a standard format in the MEAS. So these are things that they ask, when was the time that you got paid? If it is a sales and purchase agreement signed and it is an unconditional sale, then you get paid when it is unconditional, following the MEAS 4 fees to be paid. When is it conditional, or when is it still conditional subject to state approval? Then what are the milestones and the timeline that you get those things sorted out? So you have to prepare and make sure that if it is a state approval, then when the state approval was obtained and what happened after the state approval was granted, then you proceed to make payment of the stamp duty on transfer, as well as the eventual handover, vacant possession of the property. So when it is subjected to all kinds of approval, then the sales and purchase agreement is, although signed, is not yet executed. So these are legal terms that the examiner want to ensure that you understand that even though the sales and purchase agreement was signed during the initial stage of both parties coming to a sales and purchase, but the state authority has not approved it, so it is not yet executed, the transfer. So all those terms you need to be careful. So also the last one is, when do you invoice your client? In this case, invoice your vendor. So it's only after all things are settled, unconditional, then only you can invoice your vendor. So all these invoices and the receipt for payment, if you actually deduct it out from the booking fee in the client's account, you have to prove that you have the authority to do that by showing to the examiner your engagement letter. That means a letter of engagement stated that you are allowed to deduct the fees, commission fees from the booking fee that is in the client's account. So all that has to be proven by giving documented attachment to your task 1. Let me go to the subsequent slide. So about task 2, always fail. People always fail task 2. Why? This is a difficult part. So task 2, I want to say, project marketing is, although it's an imaginary one, most of us would think that we just cook out some of this imagination and then make it like a project marketing proposal. So that is in the basis not quite right. Although it is supposed to be an imaginary one, but it is not supposed to be that imaginary. So you still have to make sure there are things that is not fact, it is a real thing. So if you have done the project marketing, you have done project sales, then you just need to take one of those project sales, the real one, to put in a project marketing proposal. So first thing about project marketing is you are invited by the developer to present to the developer a marketing plan or a marketing proposal. So the attachment should be thanking the developer. You give a thank you to a developer for asking you to do a presentation. So your letter attachment would be letter that's direct to the maybe a marketing director or the company managing director of the developer by his name, his full name, a real person. It's not like simply just XYZ or ABC. It has to be a name of a real person. So it may be Dear Dato Alan Saga, so like that. So you have to give a full name of the person that you are writing to, and then thanking him for inviting you to present the marketing proposal for a marketing project. Then you need to go through the project in the validity to make sure that the project is valid, usually with the marketing license, or you can go to verify with the brochure that this project marketing team already has given out or distributed the project market license, APTL, in the case for project marketing. And you can also verify through e-license the condition, the land title of the project site. So you have to do that verification. And this part, most of us never do, because we thought that we just need to sort of use a available project which is already sold, or in the case already ongoing sales. And on this part, in fact, we usually seldom do verification for the project, because we assume that the project has already obtained its paper, it has obtained the approval from the authorities, from various officers. Therefore, we never verify. But then it is required in task 2 that you provide a certain amount of information on how you verify this project being a genuine project. Your role as an estate agent is to ensure that what you are selling is actually really true of the actual available data that you can verify with authority. So if you cannot verify with the authority, you may be selling a scam project, or you can be selling a fake project. So that is what it is, the purpose to verify the project. So your company, to sell, your agency to sell this project, you also need to observe why the developer that you are trying to get a project would have to buy into your company, your firm, your estate agency firm. So it's more like a selling of yourself. So this part, it needs a lot more thinking rather than just putting down simple, what have you done for the last few years. So in a way, what the examiner wants is to see how detailed you can sell yourself. You cannot be putting just for example, I am ABC company. I have been in business for the last 5 years. I have been doing project sale for the last 3 years. Things like that is too simple. So what your examiner wants you to put down is to list out in great detail what have you done in the last years for the project that you have done, similar to what you are going to do for this particular developer. So what the developer wants to see is how you have performed your job in the previous project sales, how much you have done for the previous project sales. So it's more like, in a summary, what you have done, the marketing plan for the previous projects. So if you have done 4 or 5 project sales already, then you already have the marketing plan for the last 4 projects. So what you need to put in for this part of selling yourself is to summarize all those 4 marketing plans. So summarize those 4 marketing plans for the one glance of the developer that you are now bidding for a new project. So this is what it means, your track record, your details. So a lot of this is more of like cooking out stories, but you need to be clever to cook out some of the plus points in that sense. So by putting out example, the project you have sold for XYZ, you have done it in how many months, through what way, and what are the challenges that you have gone through with this experience. So this is your company's track record, your company's track record as in strength, the strength of your company to handle all the difficulties in the previous projects. How can it then fit into the current project that you are bidding? So this is one part that I find that most of us writing project marketing task 2, we omitted a lot of this information.